Hello everyone. Today we are going to discuss about coagulation and flocculation. See, the course outcome of this chapter is after completion of this chapter you should able to explain coagulation and flocculation. See, this video contain introduction of the coagulation, in that what is meant by coagulation, definition of coagulation. Okay, then we have discussed about the principle of coagulation, then what are the factors affecting the coagulation, then the types of coagulant aids, what are the different coagulant aids which we have to be utilized in the coagulation process, and lastly we have discussed about the coagulation process, in that feeding, mixing, flocculation, and lastly clarification or sedimentation. Now see, we are discussed in detail. See, first of all the coagulation. See student, water contains wide variety of suspended particles like clay, silt, very fine silt, algae, bacteria, and other organic matter. These particles may have size ranging from 10 raised to minus 2 to 10 raised to minus 7 centimeter, and impurity particle having size greater than 10 raised to minus 4 centimeter are removed in the plain settling tank or in plain sedimentation tank. Okay. See, many of the impurities are too small to be settled out by the gravitation in settling tank. Okay. Hence, for their effective settling, aggregation of these small particles into large and more readily settleable solid is necessary, and this is done by using some chemicals which are called as coagulant. Now see, what is meant by coagulation. See, this term coagulation is derived from the Latin word coagular, meaning to drive together. See, colloidal particles carry electrical charges on them, and as such they are in continuous motion and never settle down under gravity in a reasonable period. Coagulation is a chemical process in which these charged colloidal particles are neutralized. Now see, what is the definition of the coagulation? See, the process of mixing certain chemicals to water to neutralize the electrical charges and to form an insoluble gelatinous flocculant precipitate for absorbing and entrapping suspended and colloidal particles of impurity is called as coagulation. Now see, what is the principle of coagulation? See, coagulants which with charges opposite to those of the suspended solids are added to the water to neutralize the negative charge on dispersed non-settleable solids such as clay and organic substances. Okay, the chemical additives neutralize and destabilize the colloids in the water. The opposite charges prevent the particles from agglomerating to form flocs and rapidly descend. See, in short, we can say that the principle of coagulation is to neutralize the charges, okay, and to stabilize the colloidal particles is the principle of the coagulation. To neutralize the charges, okay, this is the main principle of the coagulation. Now see, there are factors affecting the coagulation. There are various factors are there which are affecting the coagulation process. Okay. See, first one is the type of coagulant. See, there are various types of coagulants are there which we have to be utilized for the coagulation purpose. So, which type of coagulant we have to be utilized for the coagulation purpose, that will also affect the coagulation process or their coagulation efficiency. Then the dose of coagulant, how much quantity of coagulant we are added into the water that will also, their dose, that will also affect the coagulation process. Then time and method of mixing the coagulant, okay, that is the contact time. For how much time we have to keep the coagulant into the water, what is the contact time, and the method of mixing, which method we have to utilize for mixing the coagulant into the water, that will also affect the coagulation process. And lastly, character of water. See, characteristics of water are also very important. In that, pH of water, what is the pH of water, that will also affect the efficiency of that coagulation process. See, we have discussed that effect in detail, that pH or different, what are the different coagulants are there. Whenever we are adding, how they are, the characteristics of the water are affect the coagulation process. Then the temperature of water, that will also affect the coagulation process. And lastly, nature and quantity of suspended matter. So these are the various factors are there which are affecting the coagulation process. Next one is the very important, that is the types of coagulants. What are the different types of coagulants? See, coagulants are broadly classified into three categories. First one is the organic coagulant, second one is the inorganic coagulant, third one is the natural coagulant. See, organic coagulant. What is meant by organic coagulant? See, these organic coagulants are generally used for the solids and liquid separation and sludge generation purpose. Okay. The examples are, first one, the example of the organic coagulants are the polyamines, resin amine and tannin. See, in public water treatment plant, these organic coagulants are not utilized for the coagulation purpose. Next one is the inorganic coagulant. What is meant by inorganic coagulant? See, these inorganic coagulants are applicable for broad variety of water and wastewater treatment. They are particularly effective of raw water with low turbidity and will treat this water when organic coagulants cannot be used. Okay. See, mostly in water treatment plant, in public water treatment plants, inorganic coagulants are used for the coagulation purpose. See, there are various examples of inorganic coagulant. Like first one, aluminium sulfate, that is, we can also call it as alum. Then the chlorinated copper, that is ferric sulfate, and the addition of ferric sulfate and ferric chloride. Then the ferrous sulfate and lime, magnesium carbonate, polyelectrolyte and sodium aluminate. These are the example of inorganic coagulant. And the third type is the natural coagulant, that we are discuss later. First of all, we have to discuss what are the advantages and disadvantages of this inorganic coagulant. See, first of all, the aluminium sulfate, Al2SO4 thrice 18H2O, that is alum. What are the advantages of the alum? See, this alum is easy to handle and apply. Okay, and most commonly it is utilized in the public water treatment plant for the coagulation purpose. See, that alum also produces the less sludge than the lime, and it is most effective whenever the pH of that water is in between 6.5 and 7.5. So see, this pH of the water, these are affect the coagulation process that we are discussed earlier. Okay. Then what is the disadvantage of the alum? See, it adds dissolved salts into the water, and it is effective over a limited pH range, that is 6.5 to 7.5. So this is the advantages and disadvantages of the alum. Then we have to talk about the what are the advantages and disadvantages of the sodium aluminate. Okay, see, it is, this sodium aluminate is effective in hard water. Okay, and this sodium aluminate requires small doses usually needed. Okay, and disadvantage of this sodium aluminate is it is often used with alum. Okay, and therefore their cost is high and it is ineffective in soft water. Now next is the polyaluminum chloride. What is the advantages of the polyaluminum chloride? It is, see, in some application flock form is more dense and faster settling than the alum. This is the advantage of the polyaluminum chloride. and disadvantage is that not it is commonly used, okay, little full scale data compared to the other aluminum derivative. Next one is the ferric sulfate. See, this ferric sulfate, the advantage of the ferric sulfate is it is that ferric sulfate is effective whenever the pH is 4 to 6 and whenever the pH range is 8.8 to 9.2. And the disadvantage is that it adds dissolved salts to water and it is usually need to add alkalinity. Next one is the ferric chloride. This ferric chloride is effective whenever the pH of the water is 4 and 11, and the disadvantage is that it adds dissolved salt to the water and it consumes twice as much alkalinity as alum. Next one is the ferrous sulfate. Okay, the advantage of that ferrous sulfate, this is not as pH sensitive as lime or as alum. Okay, and disadvantage that it also adds the salts to the water and it also you need to add some alkalinity into the water. And lastly, lime. This lime is commonly, this is the advantage of the lime is it is mostly used in the water treatment purpose. It is very effective and may not add salt to effluent, but the disadvantage that it is that slime is pH dependent and it produces large quantities of sludge. Overdose can result in poor effluent quality. So this is the disadvantage of the lime. Now see, third type of the coagulant is the natural coagulant. See, natural coagulant carry natural characteristics and are supposed to be harmless to the human health, okay, that are known as the natural coagulant. Natural coagulant are the environmental friendly. See, the example of the natural coagulants are the Moringa oleifera, cactus, nirmali, okra, apricot, beans, rice, maize. These are the various examples of the natural coagulant. See, in your GATE and MPSC exam, this question may be asked, what is the examples of the natural coagulant? So you should know all these examples: Moringa oleifera, cactus, nirmali, okra, apricot, beans, rice, maize. These are the various examples of the natural coagulant. So you have to keep it, remember, for the GATE exam point of view and MPSC exam point of view also. This type of examples are asked in that exam also. Okay, but see, in out of this natural coagulant, mostly Moringa oleifera is used as a natural coagulant for the water treatment purpose. See, what are the advantages of this Moringa oleifera and the disadvantage? See, the advantages is that it is natural and non-toxic. Okay, second advantage is that it can treat highly turbid water. Okay, it does not require any pH adjustment, which is we are required in the alum or in ferric chloride. Okay, whatever the pH in that particular pH range, that coagulants are effective, which is not required. pH adjustment is not required in this Moringa oleifera whenever we are using the Moringa oleifera as a coagulant. Then see, this Moringa oleifera reduces the level of microorganisms present in the water, and lastly, it makes the sludge compact. Then what are the disadvantages of the Moringa oleifera? See, Moringa oleifera increases the orthophosphate content in the water. Their cost is also high. See, they are not, this Moringa oleifera is not readily available. Okay, and the main disadvantage is that the store water gets odor after 2 to 3 days of the storage. Whenever we are using the Moringa oleifera as a coagulant, it will get odor after 2 to 3 days of the storage. This is the main disadvantage of this Moringa oleifera, and it creates more dissolved carbon in the treated water. So these are the advantages and disadvantages of the Moringa oleifera. Now next one is the coagulant aids. See, what do you mean by coagulant aids? See, coagulant aids, these are the chemical substances which are used to increase or hasten the coagulation process. Okay, see, they may be natural or man-made. The natural coagulants are bentonite and other clay. okay, which are commonly used. See, acid and alkalis are added to water to adjust the pH for optimum coagulation. And when activated silica is added to water, it produces stable solution carrying negative charge. And the activated silica is nothing but a sodium silicate activated with sulfuric acid, aluminum sulfate, carbon dioxide or chlorine. It reacts with positively charged metal hydroxide like aluminum hydroxide and produces tough and dense flow. Natural polyelectrolyte like nirmalisid also act as a coagulant aid. That you have to remember. That what is the natural coagulant aid? That is nirmalisid. Nirmalisid is act as a natural polyelectrolyte or coagulant aid. So example of the natural coagulant aid is what? Nirmalisid. Anion and non-anionic polyelectrolytes are used as a coagulant aids along with the alum. Okay. So what you have to remember? What is my coagulant aid? These are the chemical substance which are used for the increase or hasten the coagulation purpose. For that purpose, coagulant aids are used. Now next one, very important, coagulation process. How this coagulation process is carried out. Okay, see, this coagulation process is carried out in the 4 stages. Okay, first one is the feeding, then second one is the mixing, third one is the flocculation, and lastly, last stage, fourth stage is the clarification or sedimentation. In this 4th stage, this whole coagulation process is the carried out. Now see, we have to discuss one by one in detail. Feeding, okay, means whenever we are doing the coagulation process, first of all what we are doing? Feeding, then mixing, then flocculation is to be formed, and lastly clarification or the sedimentation. See, feeding means, in feeding there are 2 methods of feeding coagulant into the water. There are 2 types of feeding devices are there which we have to be utilized for the feeding purpose. First one is the helical screw type device, second one is the toothed wheel type device which we have to be utilized for the feeding purpose, feeding of coagulation into the water purpose. See, this each unit consists of a conical hopper tanks in which the coagulant in powder form is placed and is allowed to fall in the mixing basin. Okay, see, agitating plates to prevent the arching of the powder chemicals are provided inside the tank. Okay, and the dose of coagulant is regulated by the speed of the toothed wheel. See here is the toothed wheels are to be provided. Toothed wheel mechanism or helical screw mechanism. With the help of that, here is the toothed wheel and here is the helical screw mechanism is to be provided, okay, to control the dose of the coagulant. See, this mechanism in turn is connected to the venturi device in the raw water pipe or mixing basis. So in this way, this feeding, dry feeding is to be carried out. Next one is the wet feeding. Okay, this is the next type of the feeding. Okay, there are mainly 2 types feeding. There are 2 types of feeding: dry feeding and wet feeding. Now wet feeding. See, in wet feeding system, the solution of the coagulant of the required strength is made and stored in the tank. Okay, and this solution of coagulant is fed to the mixing channel through a mechanism in the required dose in proportion to the flow of water. See, in one type of mechanism, conical plug arrangement provided. So here conical plug arrangement is provided to control. Okay, here is the conical plug arrangement is to be provided to control the addition of coagulant in proportion to the flow of water. Okay, see, in another type there is adjustable wear. Here Okay, in next type, here is the adjustable wear. Okay, there is adjustable wear and float devices are provided. Okay, the adjustable wear is in the form of a sliding cylinder with rectangular holes on its surface. The raw water channel and the float channel is interconnected to control the dose automatically. Okay, in the both devices which are to be shown in this figure. Okay, so in this way weight feeding is to be carried out. Now next one is after the feeding, what we are doing? Mixing. After the feeding of the coagulant into the water, mixing is carried out, because what are the coagulant which we have to be added into the water, that thoroughly mix into the water. For that purpose we are providing some mixing devices. Okay, there are various types of mixing devices are there which we have to utilize, like compressor device, centrifugal pump, mixing channel with flume. Okay, mixing basin with the baffle walls. Okay, mixing basin with the mechanical devices like here flash mixer, round about the end baffles type mixing basin, deflector plate mixer. So these are the various types of mixing devices are used for the mixing of the coagulant thoroughly into the water. Okay, if you have to discuss about this mixing basin with this baffle wall, okay, baffle wall here and here baffle walls are to be provided. See, the mixing basin provided with baffle walls to cause turbulence to enable through mixing. Okay, so whenever the turbulence are created, the whatever the coagulant which we have to be added into the water, that is thoroughly mixed with the water, and based upon the direction of flow there are two types. In one type, water is mixed with the coagulant which flows horizontally around the ends of the baffle wall, okay, which are to be shown in this figure, okay, which is causing through mixing. Okay, and in other type water is forced to flow up and down. So see here flow up and down. Okay, means by of hanging baffle walls. Okay, these are the hanging baffle wall as shown in figure. But the drawbacks of this method is that mixing basin with baffle walls require more quantity of coagulant. They cause greater loss of head. Okay, they are less efficient compared to the mechanical type mixer, and they are not suitable on large capacity of water plant. Okay, that's why mostly in water treatment plant flash mixer type, okay, this type and this type of flash mixer types of mixing devices are used for the mixing of the coagulant into the water. See, mixing basin with this mechanical devices. See, this is the best type of mixing devices. Okay, and is used in modern and large water treatment plant. Okay, see, this flash mixer consists of rectangular cylindrical tank, and the paddle or impeller is fixed to the shaft. This is the shaft. Okay, and which is to be driven by this electric motor, okay, unit, which is at the high rotating speed. Okay, so what we are doing here, the coagulant is added at the tip of the rotating paddle, and the water is admitted from inlet pipe and is deflected toward moving paddle to cause the intimate mixing of the water. Okay, see, the speed of the paddle is in between 100 to 200 rpm is maintained. Okay, and the detention time is 30 to 60 seconds. So in this way we are doing the mixing of the coagulant into the water. Now next time is the very important is the coagulation. Sorry, in coagulation, that is the flocculation. See, what do you mean by flocculation? See, this term, this flocculation term is derived from the Latin word that is floccular. Floccular means what? The word floccular word is to form a flock. Okay, so see, flocculation refers to the process by which fine particles are caused to clump together into a flock. Okay, See, flocculation is stimulation by mechanical means to agglomerate destabilized particles into compact, fast, settleable particle. Okay. Flocculation is a gentle agitation causing velocity gradient in the coagulated water and forcing destabilized particles come together to become large and readily stably froze. Okay. See, where this process is to be carried out, this flocculation process is to be carried out, that tank is called as the flocculation tank or the flocculation basin. See, there is difference between flocculation and coagulation. Okay, coagulation, it is the method of adding chemical to convert the impurity into in water into a sizable settleable volume. And what is meant by flocculation? Flocculation, it is a method to create or to form a floc. Okay, this is the main difference between the coagulation and flocculation. Okay, see, in coagulation method, coagulation method is used for the purification of water having the turbidity of water more than the 40 ppm, and the flocculation is the method used to stimulate the particles mechanically to convert them into compact floc. So this is the main difference between the coagulation and flocculation that you have to understand. Okay, so see, there are various types of flocculators are there which we have to be utilized for the flocculation purpose, like the hydraulic baffle valve flocculator, hyperbolic flocculator, impeller flocculator, vertical paddle wheel flocculator, horizontal paddle wheel flocculator, walking beam flocculator. These are the various types of flocculators are there which we have to be utilized for the flocculation purpose. And the last stage in the coagulation process is the clarification, or we can also call it as the sedimentation. See, clarification, or we can also call it as the sedimentation. See, after the flocculation, water is admitted into basin, okay, or in the tank. That tank is called as the clarifier, or we can call it as the settling basin or the sedimentation tank. Okay, so in that tank water is detained, okay, in such a tank for the detention period of 2 to 3 hours. Okay, so what happened during this period? See, during this period, rock which was generated under the flocculation process is settled down in the form of sludge, and the clear water is taken out through outlet arrangement and generally admitted into the filtration tank for the further purification purpose. Okay, the overflow rate is about 1000 to 1200 liter per meter square per hour is kept for the settling purpose. Okay, and sludge deposited in clarifier is continuously scrapped by the mechanical mean driven on that electrical power. That mechanical scrapper is to be utilized. What are the sludge is to be settled at the bottom of that tank, that will be removed by that mechanical scrapper. So in this way, that clarification or sedimentation process is to be carried out. So these are the 4 stages in the coagulation process. That is, first one is the feeding, mixing, flocculation, and the clarification. I hope that all of you understand all this coagulation and flocculation process very easily. I hope that you don't have any doubt. If you have any doubt about the coagulation and flocculation, you can ask me frankly. Thank you so much.